All right, all right. I don't have time for an intro today. Yeah, I don't have time for an intro today because we just got to get to it. Okay. Oh. So, fun fact. Yesterday I was struggling so much to get collisions working. Here's the thing. It's already a thing in Raylib. If you're going to use a library, use the library. Because this is just mess. Also, I'm pretty sure, my 2 a.m. brain was like, oh, I know what this needs. Position divided by cell size 0.5. Cell size is 32. Why is position divided by 32.5 going to get me the center of a cell? Like, hello? That's not... What the hell? Why did you get over here? That's not how math works, okay? I think my 2 a.m. brain was having trouble. Oh, shit! Hey. Let me know when you hop on. I just typed that. I don't know, like you're already here. How goes it? Well, I just learned that I like wasted an hour last night trying to do collisions when Raylib literally has collision checking already. So that's how it goes. Pain. True pain. Okay, let's think here. It's not just position X and Y divided by cell size. It's position X and Y like plus half the cell size? Yes. I really. Oh man, I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot to calculate each time. Is there a way to mathematically simplify this? Maybe. No. No, anything I'm thinking of in my head just makes it more complicated. As messy as this is, it might just help to keep it straightforward. So, okay, collisions. Just gave me Discord role so I can tweak the dev channels. Oh, okay, thanks. Let's see here. Yes, so we have rectangle collision. Everything we're dealing with is in rectangles. And that's it. This is literally the only function we needed. Okay. So, depending on what our neighbor is, will depend upon building a rectangle. So the first thing we need to do is make one for the player. And that will be... What does the rectangle need? It needs position X and Y. Cell sizes are both the same, thankfully. It's also great that we keep the player and the tiles the same size. I hope that's okay. I sort of made a design decision. I didn't really think about asking anybody else. Is the sprite sheet okay? First one's like 3 years ago. Hey, it's fine. This sprite sheet, this one, yes, actually, this will do. All right, the player size will be a little bit thinner. That's weird. I can do this. I'm getting distracted. Yes, this sprite sheet should be good. In fact, I will download it right now. Scanning for viruses. Thanks, Windows. Cool. All right. And then here in resources, let me think here. I don't think I can paste it from here. I have to go open up this. That's not it. Okay. We've got our first official resource. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask also about the GitHub. So right now wow, Reapers. There you are. Right now it's a public, which means anybody can look at it. I don't think anyone's going to take anything from the source code, which is all the first thing. But if you want the assets to be like private, then let me know and I can make this a private repo. You might have to have a GitHub account for me to like invite other people to look at it as a collaborator. I don't know if you can have an invite link without an account to GitHub, but for now it's fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see here. I want to first take care of this collision problem. And start out simple. We'll have our player rectangle. Now for all of these checks, we're just going to say rect. And let me think here. Shift end. There we go. Cool. This is going to be a rectangle for all of these. React tangle. And the position of all these, we'll have to do all the neighbors and stuff. But again, right now they're all this cell size. U3, you need U4, you need this. Okay, let's see here. Tiles. Now, from yesterday, the tiles we were grabbing were just the neighbors. So, let's keep track of that. North, east, south, and west. That's not what those numbers should be. Here we go. Okay. What is that? Okay. X and Y. So position Y and position X. Same for these four. I don't know what's going on. Oh no. There we go. Position X. Position Y. You're actually excited for this now? Love to join Voice Trout. Your seat has been stolen? What? Your chair? do you mean? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for laughing. It's just like someone stole your chair. That just sounds silly. Okay. All right. So all of these rectangles, we are going to run one function, and that function is check collision rex. Nice. Oh, shit. I forgot to give these numbers. Okay. Is Raylib listed? No. Okay. Well, let's make sure we do that first. I don't want to misspell anything like I did last time. That's always time wasted. DMS. Ah. Oh, sweet baby. I understand. I have my own 2 little children. Let's see. Northeast is 1. Oh, these are all the odd numbers, yeah. So 5 and 7. Northwest, southwest, southeast. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry, I think that was my roommate. You ever hear somebody and you're like, are you inside or outside the house? Check collision. Where are you? Rex. Except I'm not going to auto-complete because it's going to destroy the line in front of it. No, it didn't. It did for the first one. It did for some of them. Why must it make us all suffer, you know? Yeah. All right. And then we're going to do player rect. And this. All right, that's a lot. But, basic shapes. Goes in. Okay, hold on a minute. Returns true, right? Collision. If collision, then get collision wrecked. They draw it. Oh, they're getting the area. Okay, yeah. So if we have a collision, we see that little alert. Our footsteps from outside the flat. Sometimes it sounds like it's inside, and I freak out. Yeah. Oh yeah, I hear you. I hear people like closing doors and stuff, and I'm like, who's in my house, but who's also over that wall? And that wall is on the outside of my house. Your cat's name's Glitch. That's so cute. Aw. That's a cute name for a cat. Let's see here. Player rec, northeast, northeast. All right. This, if we get true on any of these checks, depending on the direction we are facing, which I could have calculated them all. We're just going to do them all every run. If it slows it down, we'll change it up. Test collisions. Let's double check to make sure it's working. So we run a collision check. If there is false result, then we can let the character move. Nope. That won't work. Only changed a header file. There you go. Okay. You son of a bitch. Why? All right, that. Yo, I'm not happy about it. What the fuck, man? It was working better before this. I stand corrected. Don't ever trust anyone else's code. Supposed to be a buffer name while we search for a cat. It just stuck. Hey. That's the name that counts. What in the fuck is going on? You gotta be out of your fucking mind, man. All right, we gotta debug some stuff because clearly this is not. All right, so we're gonna draw this, and we're also going to draw some text in the corner. Okay, text format. Format. Okay. So we'll list position. Let's see. Position X. What is this one? A float? Yeah. Position Y. Another float. And then current cell. Okay, 20, 20, 40. Black text. All right, let's first check to see if that's working. Position is updating. Current cell we're at 898. Okay, so it changes when we cross this x-axis, yeah. And the same happens if we wait a minute. The vertical. It should not be jumping this much. It should only change whenever like it should jump from like one to the other. So from here to here. Keeps getting stuck on something. Here to here should be one change, but it's changing a lot rapidly. So our current cell is not being calculated correctly. Let's try to get the like center position first. So once again, position of our cell in the middle should be this divided by, same for the Y. Yeah. I mean, it's the position, which is that top corner, and then half of our character size, which in this case is just 32. This should be 16. You're in voice chat now. Okay. I think I have to set up my volume settings right now. Okay, that and that. Test, test, test. Okay, can you hear me? That's right. Would you like to be recorded? Because it's like not picking up Discord on the stream audio. I can if you add you if you'd like, but I don't have to. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and add it. There we go. Okay. Can you say a few words? I'm gonna check the audio.
Test 1, 2, 3.
There we go. All right. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, this one's gonna be this is gonna be a hell of a ride. But I'll do my best. So I don't know. Tell me a little bit about are you? Is this like a community? It feels like. Is it go beyond this jam, or did everybody meet up around this jam?
We all met up within this jam
Okay.
through the dev who ditched. Then, so Moss found it, got me into it, and then we met Witch and Savannah. And
Nice.
Moss and I want to make our own games. And then we realized that our individual games could be made as just one solid game. So we invite everybody into the server, and now this one is just turned into the game jam one. So, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like, I hear you. It's yeah. Again, that sucks though. The dev dropping. That's really rough.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I hope like everything will be fine, but
Yeah.
like at the same time, Witch and I have been like either ill or like having like appointments and shit like that. And we're still trying our best. And like the second it gets to 4 days left, the dev just ditches. I then check like what is actually in the files and stuff. And it's like you can tell it's just copied and pasted code and that's it. There's like nothing but a menu that doesn't even function. So
That's rough.
a part of me feels like it was just a thing of like, oh, there is so much to do in so little time, I'm just gonna leave, and I'm just here like, okay.
Damn. So did they just ghost you completely?
They said that something came up and then just stopped. Like they gave us a warning that they're not continuing with it, and then yeah.
Yeah. Man, that does suck. I'm sorry. That's really rough.
Yeah. There was like a good like afternoon panic.
Yeah.
And I just entered your stream and we just started talking and then just like in conversation told you about the whole dev thing and then I guess now here we are.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've been wanting to do more stuff lately, especially wanting to do like a team project lately. So I'm glad the opportunity is here.
Well, I know I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm so fucking grateful that you joined in.
Yeah.
Because, like, it got to the point where I was like, okay, I have not touched a game engine in ages. Because like, I dabbled with it during uni because even though I was doing art as my speciality, we were, like, forced to learn what the programmers and then the designers would have to do. So we understood each other's roles, so they have to do art and, like, XYZ. But like since then I've only touched it once and that was like just to kind of refresh my memory, but even then it wasn't enough to make a game like this. So I'm just there like, can I relearn a whole game engine in 4 days and produce a game whilst having to do all of the art that I said I do?
That's tough.
So I'm just there like, but yeah.
Yeah, I've dabbled in Unreal. Unreal's like it's a good engine. I mean, it's very powerful, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, it demands quite a lot. So that's why whenever you're like, we're gonna try to learn Unreal, I was like, oh man, it's like that's hard, that's rough. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm glad to help. I I know how it is. Because I did one where, at least early on, it was like I wanted other people. It was like, obviously, I was like, okay, if we get like some music and some art, like that'd be sick. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this game, I always like think so big. And I was like, oh, this could be like popular. I could sell this. But the moment I brought up potentially selling it, the other two people, one of them dropped. They're like, nah. And then the other one was like, well, we can get into some legal like documents and stuff. But at a certain point, I was like, I'm either going to spend a week or two learning about legal stuff, or I'm going to just make a game and have to do it on my own without their help. So I was like, next time I know if I'm going to do something and involve money, that I'm just going to be like, all right, I've prepared up front, to
Yeah.
discuss that. But
The game that Moss and I want to make, um, we are thinking of selling it. Well, selling it. Like people have to buy the copies to play. Um, but I've got a mate who is really good with like law things and legality stuff. Um, so we're just planning to turn to him and go be like, hey, what are the things that we need to do in XYZ, and then see if he wants to come on as that. And he also does like a bit of acting stuff, so we may even include voice acting and get him to do a couple of voices.
oh, cool.
Um, so like, but that's like further down the line. I want to do at least another game jam before I start like essentially making a studio.
Yeah, I hear you. And it's good to do like stuff because I've dabbled in it for years, but I've learned recently that
Mm,
like I always just do this thing where my projects are so big, I become pretty
yeah,
overwhelmed, or I get to this point where I'm
yeah, I
like,
get that.
I want to keep putting more in, and so I'm like, I've tried to do like smaller stuff recently, and like, okay, work on small shit and work on finishing it. Because if it's finished,
Yeah,
that's something you can have like a portfolio of, and people can see that. If you're working on something that can be huge and it could be the greatest game ever, but then it's just like stuck in production forever, no one knows. And like, I would like to do this professionally, so it's like no one's gonna care about. I don't want to say they won't care, but like, it's hard to sell. I've worked on a project and you can't see how it works. Or would you like to
yeah.
look through the source code? And that's like agony. So, yeah, it's kind of like for me, I'm like, you know what? I need to actually prioritize shipping stuff above the perfect game. Because there's just no such
I
thing.
get that.
And at the end of the day, the game that works is the one that people are going to play. So,
Hmm.
yeah, but I hear you. I've been looking into doing like publishing and LLC stuff, and I hate that. But yeah, legal documents, it's important. It's not fun, but especially whenever you want to do things fair, it's always good to talk about that up front and stuff because, it's like everybody can
I
agree
think
and you're all on the same page.
the best way we managed to figure it out, between Moss and I, just like talking about it, I think the easiest way was we will work on the game and it gets released. And then once it reaches a certain threshold after like X amount of time, all the money gets split up according to how the contract is set up.
Right.
Um, so basically, it's like a time versus quantity kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, or like after, I think it was like after what, a year of the game being out, then everything gets divided accordingly, or something along those lines. Um, but yeah,
Okay. Um, I will say one thing that helps, because at least if that's established up front, no matter when money gets paid out, I think as long as everyone knows up front, that's helpful because it's also
yeah,
that thing where like everybody has a certain amount of time and energy they can devote to something,
hmm,
and I don't know, like if you were doing the art for a game and someone was like, I'm gonna pay you 5%, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you 5%, right, of like that effort,
yeah,
or that's how much time that you feel like is fair to you.
hmm,
So Yeah. Um, I never really thought about it like that until someone explained it to me, and I was like, okay, that
Yeah.
now things are starting to make sense for me. Oh, nuts. Man, why is it like there? That's what I want. Okay. Tile position X.
Mons has a question.
Yeah.
The floor tiles, would you rather it go into the background or the assets folder?
Um.
Sorry,
Floor
the sprite
tiles.
folder and the assets
Oh
folder.
yeah, yeah. Floor tiles. I guess background, probably.
Uh, Background. Yeah, he gave a little nod.
Okay. And then this one, the cell this is in.
Sorry if I occasionally go on mute because Moss is talking next to me because our desks are next to each other.
I'm sorry?
If I go mute, it's just because I'm talking to Moss because our desks are next to each other, so.
Ah, it's fine. Did I get that correct? Yes. Also, if you do voice acting or anything, I love doing that. So, let me know if you want
I
someone else
want
to
to
do
get
some
into
stuff.
it. I just don't have the voice for voice acting. This is the thing.
Mm.
And I also just want to wait for personal reasons a bit longer until I start doing it, just because my voice will change and drop pitch and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Why is it mad? Draw text format. Too few arguments. Oh shit. Lol. I didn't tell it where to draw the text. That's yeah. I guess that's important. I don't know. These things are not. Code doesn't need to be precise. Oh Jesus Christ, no. That's fine. One small fix. Let's see. 100 plus I times 40. Okay, that's ugly, but that's technically correct. Why is it being blocked on all sides? Oh shit, of course. Cuz they're all colliding, but yeah, I forgot the most important part about this. I don't just care that it's a collision. I need to also know if this is a wall. Because in that case, it would just collide with everything. Okay. Oh, God.
I'm trying to find a template for the sprite sheet,
Okay.
and I can't find anything that's like usable for what I need it for.
What kind of sprites are you doing?
I'm doing the cultist anime girl thing.
Okay.
Like the one which I got for player character, it's just like it's fine to use, I guess. I'm just trying to see if there's a more accurate one.
Hmm.
I think I may have just found a good one.
Nuts. Okay. Oh wait, that and that's. As for the voice acting thing, obviously, if it's something you want to wait on, then you got to do what you're most comfortable with. But as far as like, I think you said you don't have the voice for it. I think I kind of get what you're saying, but I want to hear what you have to say more because I want to say something that I hope would be encouraging, but I want to also make sure that I understand you completely. So, could you explain what you mean when you say you don't have the voice for it?
Uh,
Or is that too
I
personal?
would
Because
like. No, no, it's fine. I would like to be on testosterone before I start doing voice acting and stuff. So.
okay. Okay. What I was gonna say is, because I think there's like a perception of what is like a voice actor is supposed to sound like. When I think usually the people with the most voice acting, the successful careers, tend to have unique voices, like Willem Dafoe. It's hard to have somebody who sounds like him, but that unique voice is like honestly part of what makes him so prominent, as well as like a lot of other people. I don't know, because I was like, I didn't know if you meant like you don't have like the voice. But in my opinion, I'm like having
It's
your
less of
own
that and
natural
more
voice is
just
like much better.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I
I don't
think
know. It is less of like the whole I want to have the industry standard one and just more of like I just want to wait for my voice to come out.
yeah, absolutely.
I start doing things. So.
I think that's good. I know it's I don't know. I think it's good that you know at least if that's something you want, and I hope you're able to get that, because life's tough, and I hope you can get the support that you need through a lot of that stuff.
Well, if the NHS decide to kick in anytime soon, that would be lovely. But until then, I'm just kind of waiting.
That sucks. I don't know a lot about British healthcare. Is it British, right? Or
yeah. I mean, when it's actually done properly, it's like honestly one of the best around the globe. Not the best, but one of.
Yeah.
It's just actually getting there and getting seen as the issue. For the most part.
Well, I get you there. I live in America. So
Yeah.
I think someone summed it up recently. It was like satire, but it was like genuinely the best way to sum up healthcare in America. And it was like how have you ever heard the analogy? What is it called? Like another child saved from the child crushing machine.
Can't
Okay.
say that I have heard it.
So basically, the idea of it is like, let's say you live in a world where there's a machine that is, its sole purpose is to literally crush and destroy children. And every now and then, though, a child is saved, or they manage to get free of the child crushing machine, and everyone's like, hooray! And it's like, the real thought is, why the fuck is this happening? Like, why does this machine exist? And a lot of America is like that, in how you'll have like an article come out and it's like, oh, a young child, like, like the thumbs up kid, like the meme. that
Yeah.
kid, one of their parents had like, like 200 grand in like medical bills, which is just kind of a normal
Mm.
fucking thing here. And they had like a GoFundMe and they were able to raise enough money to pay off their medical bills. And it's like, oh, hooray, the meme kids saved their parents. And it's like, why isn't the story what the fuck is wrong with healthcare that a child has to make a GoFundMe to pay medical bills so their parents can live? Like, it's so weirdly dystopian. Um, there are times when I'm
I'm
like,
not gonna
I hate
lie.
living here because you are living in the middle of the shit show. It's a weird fucking place. And I don't know. It's like watching, like people here will watch, oh, what is that show called that came out? I want to say Hunger Games, but that's not what it is. Squid Games, yeah.
I mean,
It's like people watch
it
Squid
kind of
Games
feels
and
like
they're
Hunger
like,
Games
"Oh,
going
that looks
around,
like
but
we can make a lot of money." And it's like, I think you missed the
yeah,
point of the show.
yeah.
So, sorry, you were saying.
Uh, not to get into like politics and stuff, but just on the theme of like fictional narratives playing a role in real life kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, Looking at the current situation of the states, from an outsider who has people on the inside and is just seeing it unfold from the outside,
Mm.
it feels very pre 1984 by George
Oh,
Orwell.
you're so fucking right. Um,
Yeah.
it's weird. No, it's weird being here and like shit happens and you're just like, are we doing this now? Like we're doing this one now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm glad the military parade. Yeah, no, it's fine. I hate the Cheeto in chief. I think it's important to talk about it. It may be uncomfortable at times, but
Yeah.
if we don't talk about it, then you know,
If you don't
silence can
talk,
often
nothing
be
will
taken
change.
as complacency.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a
No, it's
fucking
just more the
whiniest
fact that I
president.
don't want you to be like banned from Twitch or something.
Nah. If I'm banned for talking about, I don't think I would, frankly. I don't think I have, I don't know, the spiciest takes. I'm sure there's people that whose whole thing is politics, so I think it would be fine. But
Yeah.
nah, yeah, he's just such a fucking baby. Like he's just like a
Yeah.
wannabe dictator, though. And I'm like, okay, well, that's
Okay, I don't know how true this is, because the source that I saw it on didn't have the source, and I haven't had a chance to look into it yet.
Mm.
But there is a video circulating around of Trump speaking to some other dude who I do not recognize, before Trump goes on stage or a platform or something. But he forgot that the microphone attached to his suit was on. And how do I put this? He spoke positively of North Korea's dictator and literally said that, like, I want my people to be like that to me, and I'm here like, okay,
Yeah, no,
shit's going down.
I saw that. Yeah, no, of
Yeah.
course. I mean, I mean, to me,
Oh,
this kind of shit was like
just
obvious
a side note
for
real quick.
months. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Moss has just uploaded the stuff onto the drive, so.
Okay.
Yeah, as you're saying.
Yeah, no, this shit was obvious to me. I mean, that's why I didn't fucking vote for him. I was like, okay, no. After what happened on January 6th, I was like, this is really fucked. Like, this is an unacceptable precedent. The last time our capital was attacked was literally, technically you guys, in 1812. Because we declared independence in
Have you seen Hamilton?
1776. I have not.
Ah, you need. Okay, for context, the reason why I'm asking is because Moss had watched Hamilton. I got him to watch Hamilton the other day for the first time, and there is a couple of scenes where I turn around and I'm just here like, you do not realize how accurate what the people are saying in this musical. That is like, just, oh my god, just please watch it. Like,
Okay.
I'm not saying that England needs to like or Britain needs to rule the states. That's not the bit I'm going on about. It's just the whole thing of like, we're hearing you guys cry out to us, and it's a thing that we warned you. Europe warned the people in the states, and the people who voted for Trump didn't listen.
No, I hear you.
And it's a couple of those lines where I'm just here like, okay, like,
Yeah.
um,
To be
but you need
frank,
to watch it. It's so good.
it's not about rationality. And sadly, I'd say I think a lot of politics isn't. But like a lot of it is just like it's more akin to religious fanaticism. It is he is I know a lot of people who voted for him wouldn't say this, but like he is akin to a messiah to them. Because like yeah, you'd just be like the guy wants to be a dictator. He wants to remove due
Yep.
process. He want like there's all this shit. Oh, dude, check it out. Porno links. Thanks. Fucking bots. But he's like wants to remove due process. He wants to like do all this fucked shit. And we've been doing a lot of authoritarian things for a while. So in a way, America's been kind of prepped into this for decades.
I mean,
But
your
also,
voting system kind of encourages it, which is the worrying bit.
um,
Like,
sorry,
it's
what?
one side all or nothing kind of thing.
No, absolutely.
Uh,
It is nuts that like we
which,
have two parties. And
not to, um, but it's the thing that, even though I'm in Britain, like, I can say that, but we are slowly falling into the same trap of it's one side all or nothing.
yeah,
Um,
and you gotta fight against
but yeah.
that as much as you can, frankly, because yeah, then it is. I don't know. It's like picking which parent over a divorce, and they're both kind of shitty in their own way, and it's like I'd like
Yeah.
to pick neither, frankly. So yeah, no, there are definitely those problems, but I think the part of that issue is that for one, he is definitely a narcissist. Like it's like you said, he wants to
God,
be
yeah.
a dictator, and that kind of arrogance is like people that want that are gonna go for it. And so, why would you give someone that power? And people are like, "Well, I didn't want the alternative." And I'm like, "The alternative is like literally someone who just wants to do their job and then be gone." It's like he does not want that. He does not like he talks all the time, and it's just like I think people are like they don't care because again, he's their messiah. You know, he's it's like you fucking watch Dune. Like that's basically it. He's just there to say whatever he can to take advantage of people's like their anger, their pain, their passion, and use this like blind fanaticism to support a tyrant. Because it's like, yeah, he's just doing all this shit, and it's like you're not allowed to do this. And the sad thing is, it takes a lot of effort, but also like at times the only way to stop a tyrant is with a tremendous amount of force. And you don't want to
Have you played
you
Baldur's
don't want
Gate 3?
another tyrant to fight a tyrant. So it's like we're either all going to be in this or it's going to get real fucked in some way or another. So
Have
sorry,
you
you
played
were
Baldur's
saying?
Gate 3?
No. I started it.
Um, yeah, same. Um, I won't spoil the story or anything. But I won't name a character here. There is a guy called Gortash. You will meet him in Act 3. Slash Act 2. All I'm gonna say is Trump. Imagine if, like, this character was mixed with, like, Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. That is Trump,
Oh my
in a
God.
nutshell. Which brings me on to my next point. Y'all love Star Wars. Why the fuck are you siding with the Emperor and the dark side? Genuinely, like, I don't get it. You guys all go on about, like, being part of the Resistance and loving, like, Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but you're fighting against them. Like, what the fuck? Sorry, not you specifically. I just mean,
No,
like,
no, no. I understand.
the States.
So one thing that's it's very obvious growing up here, and I don't know how I don't know how much of it is obvious to people from the outside looking in. America's like a big part of their culture. I'll say, especially recently. I don't want to say the whole time because like I'm not a historical expert and I haven't been around the whole time, so I can't say. But like one thing that has been at least there and present from the beginning of our country's history is rebellion. Rebellion against a stronger force. In the last several decades, the idea of like big government or like government having any effect on your life is bad. And like granted, there's always been that. But I think there are people who are they're so blinded by this idea that big government is bad, they kind of forget the point that a government is really just an entity that has some control over your life. So if that's a democracy, it is an entity that you take some part in. If it's a corporation, it is an entity that you take no part in. Like, so much of our company is run by our company. So much of our country is run by corporations, and specifically by a small number of people who control a vast amount of wealth and resources and who bribe our government to do whatever they want. And it's like, yeah, we live in an oligarchy. We do vote on stuff, and it's still very important. But like, when you have even at like local turnout is like 10% and people are like, my vote won't count. And I'm like, well, you fucking gave up. So that's why. Like, but also, yeah, it's like there are things where it's like people are like, oh, I don't trust the government. Businesses should run everything. And I'm like, that's sort of like saying, I don't want a democracy. I'd rather have the feudal lord system again, because that is essentially what it is. It's just somebody controls the land or the resources, and they're at the top. And, you know, whether they were chosen by like a council of shareholders or it's the divine right of God that has given them their power, it doesn't matter, because there's still this idea that like anyone who's a CEO is just like, they're just like, you're like, oh man, they're so smart and successful. And it's like, no, they're not. Like every time Forbes magazine comes out with like most successful young entrepreneur, like it turns out they're just committing fraud, which is why they're so successful. It's like, yeah, they stole everything. And it's like, yeah, like success measured in money is just how much money can you get. It has no value on integrity or ethics or intelligence or anything. But so much of our culture is predominantly like, as someone once put it, America is not a land without kings. It is a land where anyone can become king. And I think that's genuinely a very powerful sentiment that people tend to forget, because there are times they're like, we don't want any kings. And it's like, cool. So don't support wealthy people who are playing pretend at being kings, because they have their own little empires. They have their own little way of doing things. And I'm like, every wealthy person is a parasite, okay? They're a hoarder. They have mental illness. The only reason we don't think of them as hoarders is because they're not collecting magazines in an apartment. They're collecting resources and wealth, which we hold value to. But that doesn't mean it's any different, because at the end of the day, like somebody hoarding a bunch of old magazines, hoarding wealth, if you don't ever use it or can't possibly really need it, it's not healthy. But we think that it is, probably because we've also been a little brainwashed into it. I think someone once said, America is a land. America does not have like, America has no poor people, only temporarily embarrassed millionaires. And I think that's also kind of a thing that sums it up, is that like, I wish people just wanted like adequacy, like to have a good life. Not a wealthy life, not a rich life, not a like a privileged life even. Like, it's good to have rights. It is good to have your needs met. It is good to have opportunities. But like, we have to work together for that, because if we don't work together, like we're either going to work together or somebody's going to work us. And as the old saying goes, you either do politics or politics is going to do you. And so it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of people are like, they're tired. I will say politically, I get a lot of people voted for Trump because they feel so tired and unheard by their own leaders. And like over a decade ago, there was this thing called like the Tea Party movement, which was supposed to be like, we're tired of the establishment because we don't feel heard. And then along comes Trump, and he's telling everybody everything they want to hear. He doesn't fucking follow through, but like, it doesn't matter because he's just giving everyone the bird and all this shit. Everyone thinks like, oh, finally, you know, this is our big brother. He's going to help us, but it's just big brother, and he's not going to help. And so in the same way, I think a lot of the like people like on the left, like myself, we're pretty fucking fed up with like the establishment, because a lot of leaders are just like, you know, it was like, what was it? Chuck Schumer was just like, we wrote a strongly worded letter to the president. And I'm like, this fucker is making heavy moves to destroy the balance of our democracy by trying to fuck over the other branches of government. And you're going to write him a fucking letter? Like, seriously? You're supposed to be a leader. Like, it's just like, that's weak shit. And I think part of it is that a lot of Democrats are also part of the problem because they just accept money because they're just also getting paid off. And so, like, you have people, there are people who, like, I've been a fan of Bernie Sanders for years because it's just like, look, he says all the shit that makes sense, but also he's been saying it for a long time and he continues to do so. And I don't appreciate that, like, other people are just like, oh God, what's his name? There's a senator. Is like, he's always supporting coal energy, which got killed off by oil because oil was just simply cheaper in every aspect. Coal started dying in like the 70s, but coal, of course, there's still a lot of money behind it, so people would pay off. Ted Manchin is his name, but like 80% of his wealth, or it's like 40% of his wealth, or it's like $80 million. It's a lot. He has a lot of money tied up in coal, personal investments, and so he's always promoting it, even though like clean coal is not a thing, and like coal is still dying, and even without renewable energy, it has been and it still will, because it's just like, it's too expensive, it's too dangerous, it's not even as energy efficient, like it's just not worth the effort. But a couple of rich people still want to make money off of it, and so they exploit all the people working for them and pay off politicians. So that's why we still have coal around. And I don't know why people keep supporting it personally. I guess a part of me is just stop trying to understand a lot of like the mindset of people. Because after Trump got reelected, honestly, I just clocked out. I was like, okay. I mean, I'm more involved politically than I've ever been. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't care to understand anymore. Like, I really just don't.
I mean, most of the time, it's as simple as just one word: change. People just don't like change. They don't like the unknown. They don't like things that are new. They like the safe and comfortable, but it's not always the best, and they just don't understand that. Sometimes it is other things like greed and corruption and things like that, but 90% of the time it's change.
Honestly, I agree. I think sadly that is that's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I am.
On a lighter note, somebody has decided to curl up asleep next to me.
Oh my God, your cat.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Mine usually will come up on the desk and demand attention, and then he bites me, and then he gets mad that I'm here. It's kind of weird.
No, Glitch could not give a shit. It's amazing. Like, she still cares, but like she doesn't give a shit in a caring way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. My I wish my eldest cat was like that. He's like an old man. That's what we call him, because he's like, sometimes he's like very sweet, and he's just like, when he sleeps he makes this face, but also he's all crotchety and you know, it's like he'll show up and then like try to bite me, and I'm like, buddy, I'm here. Like, what do you want? So. That reminds me, I visited Sweden a few years ago, and I remember for the most part, people are like pretty nice, which I found is true. If you're nice to people, they tend to be nice back because that just makes sense. But
Hmm.
the only people who like weren't nice and didn't like speak any English, and I say that because like fucking everyone in Sweden speaks like really fucking well. I don't want to say everybody, but like a lot more people than I expected. I was like, yeah, okay, we can get by. But then I was like, okay, wow, literally everyone I'm talking to. But the only people who just like refused to speak it and also were like really like weird interactions were old people. Um, and
Yeah.
I don't know if they just like
It's
started teaching it more recently, but also I guess it's just funny because they were all just like one guy was in a coffee shop and he just came in
mm,
and he just started saying something about the bathroom, and I was like, I was like, "Ja, prate inte svenska," and he was just like, he just kept saying shit, and then he just left, and I was just like, I don't know if he's mad at me or just ranting, but I was just like, okay, goodbye. Like I was like,
yeah.
I don't know what that was. I don't know what to do.
The reason why a lot of people in Europe are able to speak pretty decent English is like, so the only reason why I know this is because my family's Portuguese.
Ah,
Like from my parents' generation, they didn't really learn that much English, but it was dabbled on like how I would have learnt French, German, or Spanish in my secondary school. Um, Alongside having English class. But nowadays it's like an actual proper class that you have to take. So not only are you doing like English class, sorry, like you'll be like, uh, in England we call it English, but it's just like it's the class that you just study like the country's literature and like you do all the spelling and all that kind of shit. Um, so you would have like that country would have their equivalent of that plus English. And then you have exams in it and stuff. So like it's it is one of those like proper classes you have to take. It's not like enforced in every school in a lot of countries, but it is one of like the bigger classes that you have to take in quite a few of them. So like that's why my cousins for the most part can speak English. Like I go to Portugal, if I need something translated because my Portuguese isn't the best, I just turn to them and go, "Hey, how do I say this?" And they'll just be like, "Oh, you said like this," and I'll be like, "Cool, thanks." Um, but yeah. Also, I sent you another cat photo.
oh,
Um, Sorry, you new cat dad. So I'm a bit
oh.
photo taking right now.
You know,
Um, yes.
I've been a cat dad for 6 years, and
Mm.
I'm still photo taking. It's I don't
Uh,
know. I think most of the photos in like the Google Drive is pretty much cats.
yeah, my gallery's starting to look like that.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It's that is what it is. All right, I don't know what the hell is happening with this.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what monstrosity I've just made with the enemy sprites, but I'm going with it.
Okay. Honestly,
Like I'm leaning a bit too into the stereotypes. I'm not gonna lie.
you know, having what the hell? What? Oh man, this thing is mad. Having something's better than having nothing, honestly.
True, true.
Oh my god. Of course. E collided, unused variable. I don't care. Huh.
Oh, what did you find out?
I'm
Oh,
not
but I need
certain.
my
I'm.
glasses if I'm gonna read your screen.
Oh, is the thing too small? It might just not be rendering at a good distance.
I think it's more of my my screen. So
Well,
no, I just needed my glasses.
part of the issue I'm having right now is that
Mm,
so when I move, we're keeping
mm,
track of everything's what cell something is in. Um, and I'm trying to use that to say, okay, if you're at a certain cell, like basically whatever cell the actor is in, get the 8 surrounding cells
mm.
and do a collision check for those. The problem is, it's not checking everything, and even if I try to print it out here, it's almost like I move vertically, but it's not picking up on the changes in that vertical movement, which I'm not certain as to why. So like if I change along the x-axis, the cell number here, like I'm on 911, lol. That's the emergency services number for the U.S. And then it's like 13, and then 14, and then 15, and then you'll notice like the position of its neighbors. They're all changing because we're getting new neighbors every time.
Yeah.
But then I go vertical, and the cell count jumps because it's an array. So you jump it by the whole width of the array to get the cell
Mm.
right below you. And the actor cell is incrementing. It is changing. See? And then it's going to jump again. But none of these are changing, which means technically, like, we have, like, whatever neighbors are here are the same neighbors being checked down here. Which is, and I'm like, no, that's not correct. So now I'm like, I don't know, because there's still like a weird collision problem. Using Raylib was a mistake. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, I wanted to challenge myself, so yeah. So I'm trying to draw out like, okay, tell me the position of the neighbors that it gets, but it's not getting the right neighbors whenever I move vertically, and I'm just wondering like, okay, this must explain why the collisions are still not working very well.
Mm.
Although that being said, something is fucky in the state of Denmark here. Oh my god. Yeah. Well,
I mean, we've only got sprites for directionals, so maybe hash out the diagonal ones for now, if it's causing issues.
no, it's oh, this is more just like colliding in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As far as
My bad.
drawing the map, that'll be like a different thing. So the map's going to be drawn,
Okay.
and that'll be oops. The map will be drawn, and then these are just for checking if we hit a wall, and such. And
Okay.
depending on how the tile sets are done,
Mm.
it might be something where I'll have to build a map manually, maybe with like a LTDK, which is sort of a
Yeah.
sprite kind of software. If it's a consistent map and I'm not able to get like a map renderer going, then I could just try to make a manual map, load in the entire image, and just make sure it's adjusted to where all the collisions are in the same place. Because the floor plan right now, it's like I only got like a portion of it, but it's just like a bunch of rectangles put together. So all it does is it checks through when it's building and says like, hey, is there like a rectangle where this tile is? And if so, then this is wall gets flipped to false because you're either a wall or a floor. As far as like traps are concerned, because I know I think there's a talk of like having a pit and stuff. I was just gonna put those as like a different entity on top of the floor, so that it, you know, it just kind of blends in where it's technically layered on top, but as long as the player is rendered over it and the interactions are the same, then it should be fine. Um, I say that I'm like, oh, take everything with a grain of salt, because I'm like, all right, I'm taking on new challenges here, which again I'm glad to, but I know that there will be things that I am new to, at least doing it with like Raylib.
I can assure you, you've
So
done more in the last few hours than our dev did in the entire 2 weeks that we needed him to do things in. So
okay,
none of us are complaining. I'll put it that way.
all right. Um, well, that's good. Uh, cool. You know what? I think I might have fixed the collisions, because I think I was getting the wrong things. Okay, there we go. Good for the corner. God, it doesn't slide along the walls, which isn't great because wall catching is always kind of annoying. But the main point is if it just catches in general right now. Yeah. I think there's could be a bit of a clipping thing. Yeah.
Also, random question,
Mhm.
just because I heard you mention it earlier. When you speak about actors, is it the same thing as actors within IT, or is this a different type of actor?
Oh, actor, yes. You mean like the class that I made?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
assuming it's the
so
same as in IT. Okay.
yeah, for this an actor is anything well, I suppose it's really what you define it, but in this particular instance an actor will be something that moves or animates. I think I'll have traps set up differently. It'll look similar, but like to my understanding, the traps aren't going to move anywhere, and there needs to be like their own kind of collision check. It's a different kind. So
Yeah.
instead of
I'm literally
preventing,
just gonna make like a couple of different looking floor things
okay,
and maybe a different looking wall, and then that's it.
okay,
So I suppose it could be used as an enemy class, I guess.
for
If I'm
actor, yeah,
understanding the script. Okay.
actor's going to be our player as well as
Mm.
for like enemies.
Yeah.
So because at the end of the day, they both animate, they'll both be drawn, they both can be given movement commands.
Mm.
The enemy will have some kind of AI where we just kind of keep track of some state variables and such, but ultimately that'll be like
Yeah.
some idle form, and maybe some kind of like patrolling, I don't know, back and forth or like going around an area.
Mm.
And then there's like pursuit, which is sort of like you're within range of this thing, and now it sees you. Now it's going to go after you, and then like attacking. So yeah, that'll be some extra stuff, but like
Okay.
the enemies will just like probably implement actor so that it'll be like, all right, the enemy's going to move, and the enemy is just going to command that actor, kind of like how your brain commands your body to do things. So the
Yeah.
player is the brain of our little player character, and then the enemy
Mm.
AI will be the brain of all the enemy characters that you see. Okay. I think that seems to be decent for collision, and I'm gonna call it at that. We'll just keep this here for now. All right. Collisions are working. We can collide with walls, and we are testing for collisions with walls. All right, now I'm going to work on animating. Lull, published to itch. I'm going to work on animating the character now. So
Oh no. My shitty sprites are gonna go into stream.
Well, we'll put it to the
Um,
test here.
oh, yeah. Just so you know, Moss has put the updated map thingy mabob in the Discord.
Oh, okay. Ah. Ah, okay. Will these be separated with by doors? Or is there any
I think
what's the
I think the
distinction for
ones
one
that he
room or the other?
specified was 2 and 3, and then 10 and 11 will have doors.
Okay. Um so what is the importance of having everything separated into a room as opposed to just one big map?
That is a very good question. Moss, what is the what was the question again? The importance of the what?
Yeah, what is the reason for having everything separated into rooms as opposed to um just like one large dungeon as a whole? Like how will the
Uh,
rooms be different?
Moss, what is it? What's the Sorry, I've got a glitch on my lap and I'm watching him trying to type into Twitch. Uh, the difference between like why have it as separate rooms and not as just one solid map slash dungeon?
It is apart from those two sections. So that's the final chase corridor, so you're not allowed in there until you get the deaths.
Okay.
That's the only door we need. The rest of it is all connected, it's just split into areas to make it easier to play.
I don't know if you heard any of that.
I did not.
Okay. He's entering the stream.
Okay. Oh.
But in short, what he explained, it was just like, well, the only I don't know how to replicate what he's. I'm just gonna let him explain
Okay.
it
That's fine.
because I'm not gonna lie, it's confused myself now. So
I
because
I
I thought
asked
that per each section there was gonna be a door, hence why I made like 5 different doors.
Okay. I saw all those. I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm asking because mechanically it helps to know like sometimes structurally how things might be separated out. If it's one of those things where it's more of just like certain assets just need to belong in certain areas, then we might be able to be fine with just having like a large dungeon. And everything is kind of in the dungeon class. If everything is like one room and then it like loads to another, or you know, however, a door between 11 and 12. 11 is the chase sequence. Okay. So Moss is so everything. Does each room? Okay. Damn. Now I don't know how to word it. Okay, so they're split up, so it's more
As
of a
long as
narrative
one
reason.
door is used, I don't care.
Okay. If it's more of a narrative reason, then it should probably be fine structurally to just put everything in like the dungeon. Yeah. If they were like different levels, then I might have to like restructure it to be like, you know, you went past through a door or something, and then like you're in level whatever this door connects to, and all that stuff gets loaded up. But if it's just kind of for narrative reasons and planning, then we can probably just put everything in one dungeon and run it from there. Being one map, that's how you're thinking of it. Okay. All right, that'll make things
You got a smile and a nod.
that makes things easier. Which is good. All right. Test animation resources. And we're going to have our player here. What's this one? Start cell.
Sorry, Moss got me a bakery.
Nah, it's fine.
I can see him typing. He's typing a paragraph.
Okay. I'll get ready. Void test animations. Update. Let's see here. Player. Draw. Enemy will also be drawn.
What is it with you in this pit? You like the pit, okay.
What is it with you in this pit? Let's see here. Okay. Animate.
I'm trying to draw boots on this person, and I can't draw boots. I may just type in drag queen and look at some really fancy, nice looking boots, and just trace it.
That's a good go-to for boots. Happy
Yeah.
to change anything people think make it easier. I have no experience with this. I'm just feeling the dark. I hear you. You know, at the end of the day, I don't know, making a decision and going with it. You know, it's a fly by the seat of your pants thing, especially for game jams. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know, let's try this and give it a go. The pit's non-negotiable. You ever, oh man, I don't know if this is, because I realize this is Edgar Allan Poe, which is an American author. Have you ever read The Pit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a, or
I
no,
read
it's
so many
The
books.
Pit and the Pendulum. Not just The Pit.
Mm.
The Pit is Fallout 3 DLC. Yeah. Oh, there's a Vincent Price movie with The Pit and the Pendulum, and Vincent Price is. Everyone should watch Vincent Price films, in my opinion, because especially because a lot of his stuff was, he did a lot of like Poe related stuff or just horror related things. God, one of the funniest fucking things from a film. What was it called? I don't know, Mansion on the Hill or some shit. But like, the whole plot story was like 100 years ago when Burning Witches was, you know, what you did every Thursday. It was like someone was evil and doing evil things, and then like a century later, their like great grandson, which is also played by Vincent Price, is like shows up to town, and he's like, "Whoa, hey, that mansion is like in my family, and I just inherited it, so like I'm moving in to this like big old house in New England." And of course, like the townsfolk are like superstitious, and he asked, like, he was like, "Hey, can anyone tell me where like this specific mansion is?" And this guy's like, "I can tell you." He's like, "I'll tell you where to go. You can pack up and head on back out of town," or something like that. And Vincent Price just goes, "That's what I love about you New Englanders, always so friendly." God. I don't know, the way he says everything has this kind of like, just this level of sass. It's just perfect. I would love to have that more in my interactions. This confidence. I don't know how to put it. It's just fantastic. But let's see here. Okay. Yeah, all the Vincent Price films are just so wonderful. Oh, there's a pub in Nottingham. It's so weird. I'm like, oh yeah, Nottingham's a place. Because all I can think about is the fucking Robin Hood. Like, oh yeah, that's like a real town. Sure. uh,
Great, now I've got fucking Robin Hood theme tune stuck in my head.
you got what? Oh, the from the animated
In
one.
the UK, there was a TV show. They made like what 08, 09 onwards or something like that. Based on Robin Hood, and I grew up watching that, like alongside Doctor Who and stuff, because it was like before Doctor Who.
Oh shit. Oh, before
So
they
now every
brought
time
it
somebody
back.
goes, no, I mean like on a Saturday night, it would start an hour before Doctor Who.
Okay, time wise.
Along with
Okay.
like Merlin. So I think it was Robin Hood, Merlin, Doctor Who, like as a Saturday night was like the thing. So every single time somebody goes like and talks about Robin Hood, I just get the song stuck in my head.
I want to look this up. I'm just gonna say British TV series. It's gonna be a lot of Robin Hood stuff. It can't be this. This isn't black and white. Is it this? This is 84.
Type in no. Type in BBC. It's the third one.
Oh,
That's
this
the
one?
Robin Hood you're looking for. Yep. Just type in BBC. It may come up. Oh no, sorry, not that one. It was one below that one.
Oh.
Sorry, I've got
I see what you mean.
lag, so
Um,
I can find it and send it to you if you want.
let's see. Is this it?
Yeah.
Oh, Richard Keith Allen.
A lot of good names in this one.
This is blurry as hell. Like, what's happening?
Yeah,
This is like B-roll they shot for the promo.
Oh no, unless you've got a VPN. If you go to the BBC iPlayer website, they have it on there, so you can see it in better quality. It's like it's so fucking 2000s. But it's like I rewatched it the other month, just like out of the blue. When it's like I can see as a kid why I liked it so much, but as an adult, I'm just looking at like what the fuck.
Oh yeah,
Like it's still good. Don't get me wrong. But like it's still clearly 2000s.
Did y'all have Blockbuster? Or well, actually,
Yeah.
that may have. Okay, I was like, man, I'm a little older, so that might have.
Oh, we
not-
did.
Okay,
Until it fucked off.
it probably died very quickly. So, as a kid, for years, like they had like the adult section, and I remember this film, and I was always like, that looks so cool. And I finally,
I've seen it.
I
Yeah.
watched it a few years ago, and I was like, this is the corniest fucking thing ever.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
God, this is such a like.
It's like
I don't know if it was
Hugh
90s
Jackman's
technically,
Cycling actually had like an 18 rating.
Do what?
If have you watched Van Helsing, starring Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
Imagine that if it was like rated 18 plus.
Yeah, I'd say it's about that. I just remember it has this edgy 2000s kind of 90s feel to it. Like they're
I always
playing
loved
it
when
up in a
movies had
way.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't know, with the
Like
music.
the Scooby-Doo movies, that has the same thing as well.
God. It's funny because it feels like they're playing it up in a big way, and yet like
Mm.
it the way the trailer looks makes it feel more like Interview with a Vampire, like more serious.
Yeah.
But honestly, watching this, I was like, I can't. There's no way I can take this fucking film seriously. It's like
Yeah.
there's so much like I don't know how to describe it. Like it's the year 2002 and you are the coolest person in the world kind of energy. It's just this a massive amount of confidence.
Yeah.
And it oh god, it was just fantastic. God, I that film some of that shit it's funny cuz watching it back I'm like
1 second. Is
Okay.
that file a PSD? I just saw it flash on the screen.
which file?
I saw your
this one.
drive flash up on the screen, and I think I saw a PSD file.
Yeah.
Is that
There's
okay,
one.
or would you rather it be PNG?
I'm gonna do PNG personally. There's one here.
Okay,
Is
I
that one
think
okay
the
to
one
use?
below it is the one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Sorry, I haven't seen it yet, so
that's fine.
I had a little panic there.
No, it looks crisp. Looks good. All right, let's copy this.
So I'm probably really showing my age by saying Scooby Doo movie.
I mean, I remember it. I'm a decade older than you actually, so I don't know. I remember everything you talk about because I'm like, yeah,
You say
I
that
was
as
there.
if like you're ancient. You're not.
Yeah, I know. It's I don't know. It's not so bad. Though I think like what is it? Oh, thanks network. I don't want my desktop name being put on stream. I don't know if that's bad or not. But oh, what was I gonna say? Oh God, what year did the Sam Raimi Spider-Man come out? Because I think that might have 2002. Have you ever seen this one with Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, I've watched all of them. Those are the ones which I grew up with.
Oh, okay. God.
Like, cause those it was what my siblings are a few years younger than me, and his Spider-Man was Andrew Garfield's. Yes, Moss, what is it?
Yeah.
What are you looking at? You're looking at my screen. I don't know what I'm doing with this one. I'm not gonna lie. I've let a bit into the stereotypes a bit much.
You don't
Mint.
what?
Wow. Okay. Sorry. Moss is. Wow. I'll share my screen to you real quick, just so you can see what's going on.
Okay.
Just make sure that you're not about to show Discord on your screen.
Tell you what,
I'll put
I
it that
will.
way.
I'll just turn on break.
Okay.
It's on a different monitor, but I'll be precautious.
Yes, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just kind of going with grids.
Okay.
And then they're gonna look evil. Okay, there's me, one with pink hair, one with blue hair. So
Okay.
a little variation might be nice. And it's just quick and easy, just one colour. And then there needs to be one version where they have like red glowing eyes and they look evil, so I'm then just gonna make them pale and grayscale, like the map is.
Okay.
So when they're not triggered, they look like the player, and when they are triggered, they look evil, basically.
Okay.
I don't know.
If there's two different varieties, it might help to have the like what is it called? It's like having unique silhouettes. And like very contrasted colors for the player to like instantly recognize.
The hair for the blue one, I sketched it earlier.
Oh, okay. It's different.
So this one's a long and out. The other one is like kind of space ones, like that.
Okay.
and it'll go like this. So the head's a bit different, but basically it's that. So the silhouette, body-wise, looks the same, but the hair's like clearly different. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, it's like basically the same effect of that you know, the more different it is, the quicker players can recognize.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
But yeah, you could.
We're live again.
It's safe. It's safe to just remove.
I think it would have probably been okay. Well, I'll put it this way: I don't think anybody's checking my stream for fucking content things, but yeah. No, I think it would have been. You know what? Honestly, I don't even know because it feels like Twitch's TOS changes a lot at times, and I'm not even certain. Like, I don't know. I'm just like I will avoid the more obvious things, perhaps, but
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like I don't know what that is. I swear at one point there was they were totally fine with was it like nudity if it was drawn, and then they were like, no, just kidding.
Yeah, it's because people wanted to do like anatomy drawings and stuff on the arts section, but then people took it into NSFW side of things, and Twitch was like, no, you can't do that. And then people were like, yeah, but they've got like upper torso showing, like why can't we? And it's like, but you're breaking the other TOS by doing so. And then because people were still having issue with it, they just completely got rid of it. And then because of that small few, nobody could do it. So yay, I guess. Like that, it wasn't like the main reason, but it was one of the bigger reasons. And it was all the thing about like kids being on the platform, as well as that. So like, if it's in a educational way or a thing of like I'm drawing anatomy, most of it was fine, because it's this thing of like it's not for adult content, it's for like educational content, because you need to know how to draw the anatomy, you need to know how it looks. But because parents can't be trusted to protect their kids online, Twitch also then had to step in on that perspective, and it got too complicated. So they took it down. At least that's from my understanding of what happened. So, what software are you using?
This is called Asprite. Aseprite. I have used it for years. I think is it $20 or is it? I can't remember if it's free. Okay, they have a trial version. I might just have the trial version. I actually have no idea. No, I think I bought it. Yeah, because it's you can buy it from Steam, but I've used it for a long time. It's pretty helpful with, it's just like 2D animation and sprite stuff. So I'm trying to get the layout. I'm trying to get the size of the grid right now because I need to know.
It's £15.49.
What?
I have added it to my wish list. Asprite.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
I was like 15 pounds. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's not
Sorry.
a number I can operate
No, I just
with.
looked on Steam. But yeah,
Okay.
it's just under 16 quid, so
All right.
that is a future purchase.
Yeah, that's a good one. I find it worthwhile. No, that's too big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
If you want, I can go into my thing and adjust it.
Yeah, I might have to do that. let's see here. 80. And then what else? 80 by 80 and 112. Hmm. Okay, yeah. It needs to be injusted. It needs to be adjusted. I'm not certain to what degree.
Showing my screen, so you can just tell me how you want it done. So. If it's
Yeah.
not gonna work,
Think here. I might be able to still divide it out here. Actually, how big is this image? 430. Okay. 107.5. Yeah. So it needs to be something that we can divide evenly by 4 because all the frame stuff works in like indexes or integers, so whole numbers. Oh man, I don't know. If you make the overall thing, let me think here. Can I resize this? I might be able to edit it here. Canvas size. Ah. Okay. I can't remember how this one works. So I just center. I might be able to actually get away with just messing with this. So let's see here. Let me grab this whole thing. Oop. Hmm. Do you mind if I just I think I can edit it from here. I think it'll be okay. Why don't you focus on do you have like other art assets and stuff? I just need to adjust the canvas size, but I can do that from here.
the things on my list is UI, yeah, UI menu, and then the enemies, and then the trap floors. But I think Moss should be able to do that one. So
Okay. It sounds like
I
a
got a
lot.
thumbs up by Moss.
That sounds like a lot.
It's fine. Like the main menu like button is there, the left side and right side of it. We just did a simple generic background, so that's done, I guess. So it is just like the other 4 things, because I think Witch was gonna do it, but because of miscommunications and lack of effort from other people, which wasn't able to get the information she required. So it was a lot of guesswork, and the guesswork didn't work. So she's having to like redo a lot of the stuff, which means that I've taken on a little bit more of the job.
Oof. That's rough.
Oh no, the feet! Freaking cutting off the guy's feet there. All right.
I think that's good. There's some little pixels that are faded, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This is also nice about Sprite is it tells you when you highlight it if anything is actually drawn.
Mm.
So, all right. All right, I'm going to try to get level with sort of the cuff of the pants. Oh, I just
realized
my grid
there's
is
pixels
off.
missing and other things. Oh, I don't like this spreadsheet.
Let's see. Does the top of the head change? Not really. Hmm. Oh. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of loosely what it is. Let's look up close. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's think here. What was the actual grid again? We are at an 80 by 112. So, all right, when we load this, um, oh, huh. Maybe I don't need that. Oh no, I do need that. Yeah.
I shall be right back.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. I need to take a moment. I'm starting to fall asleep. I think they're still out, so okay, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna move around, get the blood pumping because I'm starting to lull here. Okay, I'm back.
Ew.
Hey, um, I still had you on Discord, so even though I was away, your audio was still coming through with the stream. Is that okay? Because if
Oh,
not,
Yeah,
I can
it's,
just remove
it's
stuff.
fine.
Okay. All right. This is my first time doing animations in Raylib, so I'm trying my best to see how this is done. Current frame.
Hey, Witch. Just so you know, audio is going through onto the stream.
Okay. Wait. Oh. Oh, they left.
There we go. My headset was being a jerk.
Ah.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh. It's nice to meet you, by the way. I'm Joel. I don't know if I introduced
Nice to
myself
meet you.
officially, actually, to you, but that's
You
my name.
didn't.
I'm
I've just
sorry.
been calling you the dev to Mars.
That guy. Yeah, I'm Joel. So the channel is
Nice to meet you.
called the Triangle, but that's all just marketing and shit. Anyway, but yeah, I'm streaming with the Discord audio. So if you're not comfortable with that, I can just take it off, and it'll just be on my speakers.
It's whatever, dude. What
Okay.
are you streaming?
Do what?
What are you streaming?
Oh, I'm streaming myself on Twitch. I just realized my camera is like weirdly off.
Playing games?
No, doing the dev stuff for this.
Oh,
There we go.
cool. I just finished cleaning 2 litter boxes.
Oof.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
I've been there. We had
It's
to get
so hot out.
yeah. Oh,
Now I can get back to work. Oh wow, Freya, were you holding in all your poop?
did your cat just go?
Yeah. She's old, so sometimes when I clean the litter box, because I've had both my cats since they were kittens, and Freya's actually the grand kitten of a cat I had when I was a kid. But she is like, she overgrooms herself, and she's like very picky about how clean, and she'll just like hold it. So I went and picked her up and put her in there, and she immediately like started going. I'm like, oh, all right, clean. Like we did a pretty good clean like 2 days ago, but
I hear you.
silly baby.
A sweet baby.
I'm sorry. Are you okay with me talking about cat poop on your stream?
No, that's fine. I've got 2 cats. It's just a
We
fact
were
of life.
talking about American politics earlier, so is it any different?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were talking about the Cheeto in Chief here in America, and
Yeah.
so cat shit is a welcome change of pace.
Yeah. Definitely cleaner than him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, using the Epstein files.
I
He's a
know.
fucking pedo.
I know.
And then talking about, can he say something about, like, or tweeted whatever on Truth Social about, like, maybe pardoning Diddy. It's like, cool. Cool.
Of course.
I guess pedos stick together.
of all the people, I'm like, Bud, what? I mean, I say Bud. That's not really.
A bunch
But-
of the people from the January 6th insurrection
Yeah.
ended up getting arrested within like a couple weeks or a couple months. I think one of them killed someone,
Jesus.
if I am remembering correctly. But
Oh, that's right. Because one of them, like, yeah, committed homicide. And I remember
Yeah.
it was like, oh, you're pardoned. And it's like, oh, okay. And I remember hearing someone brought that up in like a press conference. And he's like, well, we'll look into it. And it's like, you already let them fucking go. What do you mean you'll
yeah,
look
you're
into
supposed
it?
to look into it first.
You should look into it today, or yesterday, really.
Not give them permission to commit more violent crime, because him doing that emboldened all of them, and they went on to commit more violent crimes and like escalation of the violent crimes.
That's great. Oh, God.
I said, feeling a bit like pre-1984.
Oh, it's been feeling like that
It's been feeling like it. Yeah.
after they like squashed the Occupy movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. Let's not talk politics. I'll just get angry.
I hear you. Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, because you're an American. That's right. I was like, you
Yeah.
get it. I was trying to explain earlier. I was like, it's kind of a weird environment to grow up in, but like, just so much shit happening, and then it's just like looking around. And it's like, oh, I guess we're all just okay with us doing this now. Like, is this what we're doing now? And just kind of, it's surreal. It's really surreal because you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's fu-
We're all just gonna agree to this? Like, I did not. Bleh.
The politicians are just like so corrupt that like, and then the Democratic Party, like there are some like corrupt individuals in there, but also they're spineless. And then also Republicans will sometimes like, there were a few that have like rejoined the Republican Party, or like joined the Republican Party but started in politics in the Democratic Party, and like basically just got in the way of Democrats like doing the shit they wanted to do. Like they were steering it in the wrong direction.
Hmm.
This may seem kind of random now that I'm asking it, but just bear with. Do you guys know why the UK celebrates the 5th of November? I'm not saying
Parliament
you're
building
well-
got
do it.
blown up.
I've seen the movie.
I don't.
Attempted.
Yeah.
Attempted. I'm
Um,
not saying you all should do it, but you know.
I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I do want to, but I'm not going to commit any terrorism. But I just hope maybe a more willing person might be successful at terrorism.
I don't know. There's still a part of me that's just like, please let us not get to that point, because the sad truth is, and honestly, in my opinion, if that were to happen, anybody who's already like I was saying this earlier, I was like, everyone who's like a fan of Trump, like there's like a cultic fanatic following. I mean,
no,
even
yeah,
people who are
they-
like, oh, I'm
it's
not
a
a big
cult.
fan. And I'm like, yeah, but you still like blindly fucking vote for him. So like, I don't care if
Yeah.
you're like too cool for school on the MAGA cult. Like, it doesn't matter if you're not going to fucking use your brain and you're just going to vote for
Yeah.
him regardless. So I'm
You're
like,
culpable.
even if that were to
You still
happen,
did it.
frankly, I think it would just be an opportunity for people to be like, we need more extreme authoritarianism. Help us.
Yeah.
Our savior. And I'm like, I don't think it would make everything better. I think everything would get way worse, sadly. But also a part of me is like, look, you saw how Musk dropped out and like Two narcissists just can't fucking stand each other. So it's like,
Oh no,
at
yeah.
the end of the day, I'm like, I don't want to say wait for it. I'm like, it's good to protest. Like, fucking get
Oh,
out
yeah.
there and let people hear your voice. But also, I'm like, I am hoping, and my roommate is more of the mind. Like me, I'm like, I want to leave. But like, my roommate is of the mind that like,
I want to leave.
this
too.
could be this could be the potential for like getting our shit together.
It could.
It's just, and I'm like, it could. I would like to hope that it does. I just know that historically it could also just be shit getting a lot worse. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, look, as long as people just, like keep fighting. Because yeah, I'm like, there's just so much stupid shit that it's just like, it's weird because people are like, oh, we're like anti-authoritarianism. And I'm like, your leader is
Are you,
literally
though?
wants to be a dictator. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't care if you're against big government. When the president is trying to expand the executive
against big
branch and
government.
overrule everything else, I'm like, that is the definition of big government getting bigger. So I'm like, it is that thing though, where it's like, it doesn't really matter logically. It's not about that.
Yeah.
He is their savior. He is their, he is the Kwisatz Satarat, he is, he is Muad'Dib to them. Like they will fucking die in the desert for him. And it's just like, I don't know. You can't convince people to save themselves from this. They have to see it with their own eyes, or else like,
Fucking crazy. Because
yeah.
we all knew about Project 2025. People still
Yeah.
voted. It's like they didn't believe it was real. Or I don't know, they didn't take the time to like look through it or look it up and find a summary at least. Because I mean, it's long, but like,
it's there. It's just like, here it is. And it's like,
yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. It is that thing of like, why?
Because, and like also like, it's been hooked up for so long. Because like, Republican religious fanatics for literally decades and decades have been like hounding after like the pro-choice movement and
Yeah.
the autonomy of women over their bodies and like killing people, like actual terrorism. And they don't ever label it as terrorism in the news. They're just like, oh, person attacked a clinic that does abortions. Like they don't call a spade a spade. That's also terrorism.
No, there's a lot of that.
It's only terrorism if like the person is a minority of some sort.
No, I hear you. Or just like, what do you call it? Politically, against the accepted norm, where it's like, yeah, like you could, people do all kinds of damage and horrible things. And it's just like, oh yeah, it's, I think the best example I want to say is like, whenever like people are killed by someone driving a car, whenever they're hit by a car, a lot of the times, like almost every media outlet will be like pedestrian involved in auto accident. You're like, what the fuck did they run around with a cardboard box in the road? Like, no, they were run over. Someone ran them over out of just, willful neglect. And there's like a lot of things that go into that. I don't think it's entirely, I don't want to say drivers are not to blame, but it's like a lot of road infrastructure is just like, you're in car world and like everything is here for the car world. And so if someone gets hit by a car, it's not a question of why did the driver hit this person with the vehicle they were operating. Because if it was a weapon, if it was a gun, like, it's like, why did they do this? Even if it was an accident, it's like, why was the person in car world? And it's like, how dare you exist? It is stupid, but it feels like the same kind of spin where it's like, it is not seen as who is appropriately responsible. It's seen as, how can we frame this to make sure automakers that no one thinks about cars in any kind of like light other than cars are wonderful. We need the car, and it's
They're awful. We should we should primarily have trains. We would have more forested land. We would there CO2 emissions would go down. There would just be less waste because there wouldn't be a bunch of cars and parts
yeah.
sitting in factories because they all like overproduce, and then it just sits there and it's so wasteful. And I also think part of why they don't call it what it is, which is it's like vehicular homicide.
Yeah.
It's homicide. It is because they half the time they try and frame it as like a character assassination, where it's like, oh yeah, a parent was negligent, or like they were poor, they had to walk around, they didn't have a car.
Yeah. One of the poors died today. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
the worst thing you can be in America is poor.
And most of us are poor.
Yeah.
We don't have a middle class anymore.
Even if you do well, it's like, congrats, but like, now you're just kind of sweating.
Yeah.
And, but it's that thing of, yeah. And then, of course, people are like pitted against each other. And I'm like, we're kind of missing the point. Like, my neighbor is not to blame for my circumstances. It's it's the 4 billionaires that live in our state that are like, it's their fucking parasitic problem. Because like, if they didn't exist, then most people are
We'd
just like,
have a
I have
good
a job, I
economy.
work, and then I go home. And I'm like, wealthy people are like, who can I fuck and
They're
how much money can I
parasites.
get today? And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, most people just don't have this unhinged mindset. I'm like, they really are just something else. And I'm like, okay.
Like legitimately, the billionaires and millionaires are the real like parasites of this country.
Yeah.
They get a bunch of subsidies from the government. The
Oh, damn it. Fuck, I switched Discord.
richest people in the country, like individually, because they look for loopholes, like buying a company and taking a huge loss so you can use it to write it off and balance your sheets for making a lot of profit somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they're sitting on the money. They don't spend enough, and that's why our economy we've been in depressions and recessions and like going into a stagnation.
No, yeah. God. What was I gonna say?
I'm from Massachusetts, so it's
Yeah.
very liberal.
I visited Boston a few years back. It's flipping dope. And it was funny because I went with my my wife, and it was like we did other vacations where it was like we went to like Washington, and it's like, okay, you gotta like rent a car to like get anywhere. But whenever we went to Boston, I was like, yeah, we'll be fine. And she's like, are you sure? Like, we need to. And I was like, no. Believe me. Like, we're going to take, the weird ass shuttle. Because, of course, there's just a shuttle to the train station from the airport. But, like, I was just like, we'll just take the train everywhere. And she was nervous at first. But it was just like, I was like, it could not be simpler. You just, like, look it up. You just go. It shows up. You get on. And you ride the damn thing. Like, it's funny because I'm like, I've heard so many things where people like, America can't build trains because it's different than Europe. I'm like, we have a smaller land mass and more people than Europe, right, as a continent. So I'm like, no, that's bullshit. But also I'm like, we did. I don't want to say
invent
America's
trains?
expansion into the West was like literally.
it was
No.
Scotland invented trains.
Okay.
And then what was it?
Well,
Yeah, I think it was like Los
makes sense.
Angeles used to have like the largest streetcar network in the world. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, like 1 million miles or just a lot. Like, you could literally get anywhere in LA, and it was like affordable. It was predictable. Like, a lot of people took it. Yeah, but then I think like after or like the Depression and the war like hurt a lot of businesses. But then afterwards, like General Motors and a lot of auto companies literally bought up streetcar companies, dismantled them all, paved over the roads, and then just had like bus companies. So I'm like, that's it. That's why we don't have public transit. It's not because we can't. It's not because Europe or other countries like, oh yeah, we don't have the magic of Japan. It's like, it's bullshit. They just fucking built it. The circumstances
They
were
just
that for
lie.
us, having a car was advertised as a symbol of wealth. And if you
Yeah.
could afford one, then it was like, congratulations. But like the whole, like the reason we have an interstate highway system is because the guy who is the head of the Department of Transportation is the former president of General Motors. And then after he finished, he went back to be the head of the board on General Motors. And it's like, if only there was a word, some kind of conflict of interest where someone shouldn't be making these choices. But yeah, it's like, that's, you know, and it's funny because it's like, people will be like, oh, we need to expand this interstate. It'll take 12 years and $40 billion. But then like your city of like 1 million people is like, hey, we need $5 million because our buses are on fire. And it's like, we can't afford that. I'm like, yeah, we can. We can afford a hell of a lot more. We're just going to waste it all expanding a highway that's going to have worse traffic by the time it's finished, because the population will rise and more people will be using it because now they're more car dependent. And I'm like, this problem has been observed for decades. As someone puts it, there's a channel called like Not Just Bikes. And they were like, if like basically whatever's most convenient people will use. If it's walking, if it's like a bus or a train, if it's by car, like that's what they'll use. But he's like, most people don't give a shit. They just like don't have a choice. And if you don't have a choice, you're not really free. So that's why every car commercial is like someone driving around an abandoned city like it's the apocalypse, and it's like, you're living life on the edge. And it's like, no, you're not. This is a commercial. Like you would be in traffic, and it would take you an hour to move 4 city blocks because like that's the reality of what a car is. And you're up to your neck in payments, and your insurance gets more expensive every year. And yeah, you know, and it's like, sorry, we can't afford to fix the sidewalk. Really? Yes, you can. You just choose not to because because a few people want to make even more money than they already have. And it is just obscene.
I'm just gonna say this now. I'm glad you two met. It's been very entertaining for the last like half an hour.
Oh damn.
Because like I'm just here like, I know how shitty it is to be in the States, and the UK has its own problems. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot going on wrong with the UK right now.
Yeah.
But like, at least we have sidewalks. You guys don't. For the most part, you have to drive.
Boston.
Well, this is the thing.
Depends.
Boston
If you
is
want to go
better.
to the supermarket,
Most-
for like 99% of the states, you guys have to use transport.
Yeah.
For us, it's a 10-minute walk down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Food deserts are a huge problem in the U.S. If larger cities, it's less of a problem. What I was gonna say earlier is like when I was in college, I biked everywhere. Like I used to bike all the way from like Medford to Fenway for school and back, and sometimes like to Cambridge and then back to Fenway and then back to Cambridge. So I'd be biking like at least 2 to 4 hours a day. And like for a lot of the driving, at least in the greater Boston area, you will get there faster if you're walking or biking than if you're taking a car. Like if you're going through Boston, or like Harvard, just anything other than a car. Just anything other than a car.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember visiting. It was like all of the traffic. And it's funny to me because like, you know, I rode the bus and I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know, every car has 1 or 2 people in it. If everyone in a car crammed on the road right now all got in a bus, there would just be like 2 buses on the road instead of 50 cars and a bus. And it's like, you do realize mathematically one of them just takes up more space. Like that's all it is. It's not
It's
complicated. It's not a difficult issue. It's not about freedom, because you're not really free if you only have one choice, or if you're just
You're not.
stuck. It's just
Yeah,
like, no,
and-
it's just about literally using your brain. But
Yeah.
math is dumb, and it's never going to be used in real life. I hate it when people are like, I'll never use math in real life, and I'm like, I guess you're just gonna fuck yourself over. Like, I guess if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But I'm like, or you could not do that. Oh,
Like, do you go food shopping, my dude, my guy?
do you
Do you
like?
eat food?
Do you just want to get ripped off, and you never know if someone's ripping you off? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't blame that this education problems, but it is a thing where it's like, because certain things are neglected, people are like, well, we shouldn't have it, and I'm like, no, it
That's
needs to
not
be
a
improved.
solution.
The solution is not to return to monkey. The solution is to improve and get better. And doing nothing is not an improvement. Yeah, we do. We're both Americans venting. Um uh
Oof. In the greater Boston area, it's I've noticed the past like 10 years as like, because this is like a big university area. Um, the more and more people move for college and decide to stay, most other places rely way more on cars, so there are like a lot of students that are like bringing their cars. And then like with the gentrification in a lot of areas where houses are being converted into like multi-family houses being converted into like condos per each like floor and division. So that means that there are more people living in one house that probably have cars, and it's just the congestion has just gotten way worse. And I don't think it's like Bostonians or like people the greater Boston like doing that, because it's a really expensive city to live in. And if you grew up around here, you're probably not going to have money for a car. You're probably going to put it towards something else. Like everyone I know that grew up around here didn't get their license until like mid late 20s. I was like 23, 24 when I got mine.
damn.
It's just so unnecessary.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Texas, so for me it was like, well, if you want to go anywhere, you're going to have to do that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. It's funny too, because it's like I've been driving for about 15, 18 years, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I was like, I'm so sick of it. And holy shit, when I moved to Colorado a few years ago. In the first like week that I moved, there was like 2 incidents of homicide via road rage. And it was
Oh
like,
my God.
oh, cool. This is my home now.
Yeah. I kind of want to watch Russian videos now. Those dash cam videos.
Oh my God. Yeah. I know exactly what you
Sorry.
mean.
The stuff that I've seen come out from the States, Brown. I've never been to the States, but I've been to France, so I can at least say from like the France point of view. You lot are easy on the roads. Go to France
yeah.
if you want to see absolute fucking hell. Like, it's Dante's Inferno with the centre of Paris being the worst bit. Like,
How are
don't get me
there,
wrong, the French are lovely people. Just don't get in a car with them.
How are there road laws? Because I know in the US,
A little
compared to
bit more
other
lenient,
countries,
so.
we're considered to have like a lot of like laws and rules about driving in the road.
I can't say because I don't really know your rules. I know the ones in Europe. I know the ones in within the EU, and I know the ones in Britain. I cannot say for the ones in the States. So,
You know,
but yeah.
I can at least note that whenever I was in Sweden, I remember at some point I was walking to like cross the street, and there's a car approaching the crosswalk, and they like slowed down like 200 feet away and just stopped. And I was like, "Are you gonna go?" And they kind of like looked at me. They're like, "You need to fucking go." Like it wasn't like rude, but I can tell
Yeah,
they were a little
pedestrians have
impatient.
rights.
But it was like, I was like, "Yeah," but I think I remember learning. I was like, "Yeah, that's because if you hit someone, they're like, hey, you just tried to kill somebody, because
Hmm.
you just tried to hit
It's the
them
same in
with
the
a
UK, same in
2,000-pound
Portugal.
brick of
Like,
metal at like 30 miles an hour." So they're just like,
yeah,
yeah, here you might get a fine. And so, yeah, it's just like, no, yeah, here it is a joke. Like, people's
unless it's
lives
the
are treated with
motorway,
absolutely no dignity.
like the proper big motorways, pedestrians have rights, especially surrounding schools and
Oh yeah,
hospitals. Um,
like that in
but like
Mass
you
too.
have to, unless you have priority, for example, on like the bigger roads, you have to let a pedestrian cross if it is safe, unless it is not safe to do so. And even
It's like
then,
that.
you really should prioritize the pedestrians regardless.
Yeah, because you're in a giant deathmobile.
Yeah,
Um,
you're in a
in
death
Mass,
trap.
it's
Yeah.
like that too. Pedestrians have right of way in Mass.
They do, I think, in most places. The difference is that like you
Just
could.
not New York,
I mean, people.
unless it's changed.
There's plenty of times where you cross the street, they just hit the gas, but like. Also,
Yeah.
it is that thing where I'm like, yeah, if you get hit by a car here, like you have the right of way. It won't help you when you're dead, and there's not a severe enough punishment. It's like people get away with a lot of fucked up shit, and then they're like, "Oh, I can keep my license," and it's like, you really shouldn't. But
Yeah,
again,
I wish
a
we
lot
were
of
like
it's like, well, if I don't have
Japan,
my
where
car,
you
I can't
like.
get anywhere, and it's like, that's a big part of the problem because people
Yeah.
depend on it.
I wish we were like Japan, where people kind of like retire their license, where like elderly people will like sell their car and like turn in their license to the government because they're like, I'm too old to be driving. I
Seriously?
don't believe it's enforced. It is just like
It's not like by law, but it is a social
social
enforcement.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen here.
There is a very similar thing here in the UK, where once you hit, I think 70 onwards, you need to retake a test. Just to see if you are fit to continue driving, and then if you go to the hospital or if other people have suspicion of your mental health, your mental capacity degrading, you are required to volunteer yourself into a test. But if it gets too severe, you have to do a mandatory test.
Yeah. Whereas a few
I don't know
years
how
ago,
strict they are with it, but I know that it does happen. So
yeah.
Oh
That,
shit!
well, that's
I let
good.
my-
Does anyone remember like a few years ago when this elderly woman, and I think she was from Revere, she drove, no, it was in Quincy. She drove her fucking car into a mall. Like she left the parking lot and started like she got caught in the doors that led to the area where people shop.
Jeez.
that hasn't come across my newsfeed.
It's just so
Yeah, it's nuts.
ridiculous. What?
See the story about the Baskin Robbins?
What about Baskin Robbins?
Somebody drove into a Baskin Robbins and collapsed.
Someone drove into a Baskin Robbins and collapsed.
Collapsed the building.
Collapsed the building.
Oh my god.
I thought you meant they got out of their car,
Car
and
and
fell
fell
over.
over. Yeah. Me too. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's awful, but it's just so absurd. I can't help but laugh because, like, what even are people? What reality are we in?
That's such a great question.
Like, what is happening?
Oh no.
It's got to be the plastics and the
Reaching its breaking
everything.
point.
What were you saying?
Near
Humanity's
tunnels.
reaching its breaking point. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scroll. Lead brained and plastic blooded.
Hmm.
Did you know
Oh,
that
did you hear about that? Where they tried to like measure how much plastic's in the average human's blood, but they couldn't find a control group because they couldn't find
Yeah.
anybody without any plastic. Like,
Yeah.
there
what
is
the fuck?
there's something similar?
That's bad.
You guys know who DuPont is?
The
Du-
artist or
no,
someone
DuPont
else?
is the company that basically they do a lot of chemical stuff,
Mm.
like Teflon. So
Poison.
yeah, back in the 70s, they were just literally dumping raw waste into waterways, and
That
so
tracks.
now literally every single living thing has just DuPont waste, chemical waste in their blood, like every person, and I think animals too. And
Oh.
they literally tried to test again. They tried to test, and everyone had some. And the only samples without any chemicals were like blood samples from soldiers from World War II.
Wow.
And they were like, they don't have any of these chemicals in their blood, but we all do now. And
Like
yeah, it's just in the world's waterways. It's just everywhere.
that's
And some of this shit just does not. You're gonna have to wait
this
for
is
it to
why we need
atomically dissolve.
control.
So
We need more control over like companies. They shouldn't be
I know,
considered
and
people anymore in the
especially
US.
dumb because it's like y'all. They make like Teflon. Like I'm sorry, I get that. I get cooking on metal can be dirty, but like. You know, maybe fucking scrub harder and learn to cook. Put more butter or some shit. Like, we did not need Teflon.
I'm sorry. I've seen your kitchen nightmares. Just have better food standards.
No, I hear you. It is a thing of
Please.
like, yes, it's messy, but life's messy. We should not try to chemically erase messiness because we're just gonna make more shit. Except this is shit that like our ecosystem cannot handle because nothing has evolved to this. So it's like people are like, oh, worms eat styrofoam, and I'm like, yeah, maybe, but like,
Yeah, well, we don't
that
have
does not
enough
matter.
worms to deal with all that.
Ugh. Yeah,
Um,
so I don't know. Even if
when
everything collapsed, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe we'll avoid extinction number 4. And like try again. Hopefully this time we don't forget everything and relearn lessons.
Yeah. When I did construction, when there were times that like I had to dig in people's yards in like part of the greater Boston area where it's more suburban, like kind of on the outer edges, but still like fairly inner city. And so I had to dig below the water line to like put in like a form to fill with cement to reinforce the joists to the second floor porch and stuff and like kind of push it up. But people used to bury a lot of trash. Like there were baby booties. I found baby booties,
Oh,
like
damn.
little leather boots that they buried, which was like, am I gonna find
Oh,
a,
yeah.
a baby skeleton? What is this? 2 radiators.
What?
Yeah, they just buried it and then built a porch over it. And there was like a bunch of other crap in this backyard that they had buried. And like we had to dig 4 or 5 holes. So like there were only 4 or 5 holes and we found a lot of stuff that we
Damn.
had to remove. But I don't know. Is it like this in other parts of the country or like other parts of the world? Do people just bury shit in their yard?
I mean, I can't say. I've
Not
never done
typically,
that.
no.
I will say,
Just a math thing, I guess.
honestly, I mean, I know archaeologically, like, that is a thing where people will, you know, they're like a big sign of like, did someone live here? Is just like
Yeah.
literally trash. They're just like, yeah, there's just a pile of like bones, like food stuff, maybe like bits of pottery and stuff, but they're like, yeah, this is clearly just like a rubbish heap that people threw out. I think someone pointed out that like a lot of buildings in New York, like if you go in a lot of places in New York, some neighborhoods they'll just have like piles of trash, and people are like, oh, New York's on the edge
Oh,
of collapse, and it's like
a
these
bunch of New
neighborhoods were
York is
built
just
like 150 years ago, where
yeah,
like people did not buy so much shit. It was like you bought a suit,
yeah,
that's going to be yours for your life, and like you have two pairs of shoes, you have your church shoes and you have your work boots, and like that is it. And how today, like most of us buy so much shit because so much is like mass produced. And it's like, we
yeah.
don't, I don't want to say that
It's
like people shouldn't have options, but it's like, it'd probably be
planned
better if everyone had
obsolescence.
fewer, better fit clothing than like, I've got 40 t shirts and they're all different sizes. And next year I'm going to have 10 more and I'm going to throw 10 away. And it's like, I'm like, we produce a lot more waste, but not because like we've become more advanced. It's just because like with mass production, companies are like, hey, we can make a bunch of stuff, but pretty soon, um, everyone's bought enough, and so now you need to buy the new thing. And so like that's one thing. Well, it's like why do you buy a new iPhone? This marvelous
So
piece
you're
of
gonna say it's
technology.
the Apple mentality.
Yeah, and it's been around for a long time. Like the disposable razor was from somebody who like they
Capitalism?
couldn't keep selling razors because they're like, well, everyone
Yeah.
owns a razor and you just sharpen the damn thing. So they're like, well,
Capitalism is bad.
yeah, they're like, here's a razor that you can keep. You can keep basically buying a razor and they can keep selling just like a cheap product. And it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, that was it. There was never a problem with razors or shaving. It was literally just like, how do I make more money um, as a
Yep.
business? Because it's like, well, I've already sold things and people don't need to buy it. And it's like, okay, then sell them or convince them that they do. And so it's, yeah, I'm like, honestly, a lot of like, this is why part of me, I'm like, I don't feel like mass production is always great. Um,
Oh, it's
and consumerism is just
mostly
like,
always bad.
the
It's
psychological, someone was like, it's like a anxiety induced for like capitalistic gain,
mhm.
or just like, yeah, it's just like, I need to sell shit. Well, they don't need to, but they're like, how do I get you to buy some shit? Well, you got to buy the new thing, because everything, it's like, I'm not gonna buy a Switch 2 probably, because it's like I already have a Switch. But
Yeah,
why? It's like, oh, but the second one's coming out, and I'm like, it's like the same fucking thing. Like maybe it is better technology. Um,
probably not.
yeah, it's just like I don't care.
From
Like,
reports, the Switch 2 is not better than the Switch 1, and
No,
Nintendo are
they're just
orange
deciding not to
screening
release it
Switch 2.
on the old ones.
Sorry, Switch 1. Yeah.
yeah,
It's the fact that okay, I don't
Like,
know how true it is because I don't have a Switch One, but apparently they're orange screening a lot of the Switch ones to try and enable, just try and force people to get a Switch Two.
orange screen. Like, is that like killing it?
You know how we on PC have the blue screen? It's the
Yeah.
Nintendo equivalent.
Okay.
wow.
But again, I don't know the logistics of that one. That is just what I have heard running around. So
I mean, Apple
take
has
that
done
one with a pinch
similar
of salt.
stuff,
I wouldn't.
but
Yeah, Apple's done
I
very
wouldn't.
similar.
I
Have you
wouldn't
seen the new
suggest
Apple
somebody the
like
idea.
UI design with the glass thing? Liquid glass.
um,
It's a dyslexic's nightmare.
I
I
haven't.
can't even see the promotional stuff properly. Like,
I'll take your
hold on,
word for it.
I'll bring it up on my screen.
So like we used to have lifelong warranties. They did away with that. Everything has
Mm.
planned obsolescence. Like things in the 50s, like you appliances like refrigerators, you would never need to replace a refrigerator. Things were designed to be like
Yeah.
multi-utility
Oh my
and
god.
to last forever, but can't keep making money if people
Right.
shit
I already
doesn't
have
break.
bought it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
which if you look at my screen,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
hold on.
let me bring it up.
So I worked in a factory years ago, and I remember that like they used some threading machines for like electrical harnesses, so they thread metal
Mhm.
wire. and the machines they used were like they were built in like 1893, and they were like fucking cast iron, like heavy chunkers. But like, I'm like, this thing is 100 years old, and yeah, like a lot of the like gears and more intricate parts need to get swapped out. But like, you buy a gear, you swap it out. That's
For
it.
like the sewing
And
machines,
it's
or
how do I let me think if I can look up an example.
I think I missed
Weaving
some
machine.
part of what you said.
It's it kind of it weaves like a tube. It's not just like a flat texture. Um
Hmm.
Industrial weaving machine. No, that's just a bigger one. It's hard to describe, but like yeah, it weaves like a tube of metal. Or I guess whatever fiber, but these used metal. And yeah, it was just like so funny cuz like yeah, I was like, this thing is over a century old, and it still operates because, like, of course, it's just like a mechanical device. As long as you keep it like maintained and everything, like it'll continue to operate. Um, and like they wanted to buy like a new one, and it was like $130,000, and it was like bigger, but it was just kind of like I was like, I honestly wonder whether or not that is genuinely worth the price, or whether or not it's just like the new shit with like yeah with more
Probably
stuff.
not.
I don't know, it's like I don't know if this is still going on, but I feel like I remember a few years or like 10 years ago there was like a fad where like people would like sell you a juicer and it had like Wi-Fi, and I was like, why the fuck does my
What?
juicer need Wi-Fi?
I
Yeah, and it was like
specifically don't want my appliances to
yeah
have Wi-Fi.
yeah
It,
no
it's
it
something
was
I avoid.
it's like people are like, oh, I have a TV on my fridge, and I'm like, you can just have that on your phone, or you can just buy a normal TV, and like, it's just like stuff where I'm like, you realize like this is completely needless. Like, I think somebody in Silicon Valley, that show was like, they're like, this is engineering for a problem. These are solutions for problems that don't exist. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally you're just adding money and complexity, so everything's going to become like frail and break down more and shit. Sorry, what
Yeah.
what were you showing us, Phoenix?
So Apple's new design that they released this year, uh, so they're making the name of all of their new products go up a year. So now it's all 2020, or like just 26. Um, so everything is like on the same page in terms of its name.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's fair. That's actually pretty neat. And then they showed their new, like, amazing layout design thing called Liquid Glass. So if you see on the screen on the right hand side, that's like this is on all of their new devices that are coming out this year.
Are the icons
Like,
supposed to be
this is
so
just-
opaque?
Yeah,
On the-
this is Liquid Glass. This is what
That's-
they've designed it to be. It is a dyslexic's nightmare. I'm not kidding. Like I'm trying to read like all the shit and I can't.
Yeah,
such a struggle.
using white text is actually like generally kind of a no-no for design.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
counterproductive.
You need
look
like
at that.
It-
high contrast
For
for people to tell.
readability, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is what the new thing is, and it's
What the fuck? That's
Insane.
terrible.
yeah.
That's
Like,
I'm
it's
like,
just-
this is
what
like
the fuck?
design 101.
Uh-huh. But it's because they're trying to
Be
I can see
new?
what they're trying to was one of their promotional stuff.
Mm.
Like they've clearly picked a high contrast background.
So they just like really
Before
want
it-
ops level like web
Well,
1.0 where people would just like download widgets for their desktops.
You know what?
Yeah.
What? Here's an idea. This is totally a conspiracy theory, but my thought is maybe they're making they want people to like look closer at the screen. They're trying to induce eye strain and fatigue, so that you could become more
You know,
like
maybe.
more
I believe
dependent
it.
on their device or more absorbed into it. Like,
Maybe.
I believe it.
that's
Well,
awful.
here's the thing though. It's like I can kind of see where they're trying to go, because if you remember, like we're talking yesterday about like Tron and stuff. you think back at like the 80s and 90s and how they envisioned the future.
Yeah.
I think Apple is trying to go with a very similar kind of like perspective on it, where like they're trying to make things look as futuristic as possible to try and be maintained as like the best of the best, and like it's just I don't fucking know this point.
What it
but-
comes down to is tech bros don't have a creative bone in their body, and they need to steal other
Hey!
people's shit.
Hey, look, I'm out there fixing fucking PCs and shit. What are you on about?
Hey, I built my own PC.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
mean
not
like
talking about
Silicon
personal
Valley
PC.
tech
I mean, like,
bros. Like
okay,
the
fair
people
point,
that are
fair
like
point.
It's
some of them don't even know code.
I
They
think
just talk out of
Tech
their
Bros
ass.
is usually the thing of like somebody probably had rich parents and then they
Yeah,
started
yeah.
a startup and they because
Mhm.
like they asked their parents and their parents' friends for money and so they're like, "Oh, I just got $20 million for a company that does not exist." And then they're
Yeah.
going to like
Mhm.
build a bunch
know,
of hype
the-
around it and then sell it for like $1 billion and it's like
Like Elon Musk.
yeah, or like
Mhm.
Bezos, people like he started in the
Yeah.
garage, and I'm like, dude, no, he literally fucking started with this
He made
plan
enough money
for
to
growth.
create
His
propaganda and
parents were his
trick you
biggest
into
investors.
thinking he
They
did
gave
that.
like it was like $30 million, and it's like, you know, I'm pretty sure if my parents gave me that much money, I too would be able to start a very big business. I don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
I'd make, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even have to try. All I have to do is just tell more rich people that this is the new thing. And then they would just give me money because their only qualifications are that they're already rich. Not that they're smart or hardworking or intelligent
Yeah.
or capable or qualified
They
or
were just
anything.
born
It's like
into it.
this is just someone with money. They might be smart, but that's if they tried. And if they inherited that, then they knew they didn't
Trying.
have to. Yeah. So it's like you don't have to try if your life's already set up for you.
Honestly, I'm ready to eat the rich.
I hear you.
Look, I'm just
Hey,
saying, if you want to learn how to revolt, just look at Paris and look at France and just you know.
I admire.
I'm sorry, but the French know how to revolt.
I
you
mean,
know,
I think I know how. I am from Boston.
oh, that's true. Oh man, fuck! I gotta go. I've got something at like 6.
Oh shit.
But I gotta head
Sorry.
out. Okay, I this is fun. I got what did I get? Collisions are working, and I got animations working. I got side trailed. I'm like, this has been fun. I can't keep getting on Discord and talking because I'm not getting any work done. But
Sorry.
no. This is good. But yeah, I gotta. Oh God, I was gonna say I gotta lock in. Is that still cool? Is that what the kids say?
I don't.
anyway.
Who cares? Who
But
cares what the kid?
yeah, I gotta go. So I'm just gonna end the stream.